Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are, and welcome to Mini Indie Game Reviews, a place where I'll be reviewing indie games that are quick, sweet, and straight to the point. Today we're going to be looking at Sallyface, which is the first and debut game coming from the indie entity known as Portable Moose, which is simply composed of one person, the founder and developer Steve Garbry. Originally, this game was released episodically on the itch.io platform beginning in 2016, with its fifth and final installment being released at the end of 2019. Today I will be reviewing the PlayStation 4 version, which consists of all 5 episodes, so let's get into it. Sallyface is about the misadventures of Sal Fisher, a boy with a prosthetic face who, just from face value, could be misunderstood as being a girl wearing a Jason Voorhees hockey mask. But don't let the ponytails fool you. Accompanying Sal are recurring characters that help aid him through his disturbing stories that will usually incorporate the dealings of the residents of Addison Apartments in the town of Knoxville. As I stated before, this game was initially released episodically, with each somewhat telling a potential self-contained story, including with the underlying overarching plot that is peppered into each segment. Now, I don't want to spoil a lot, saying as though this game is somewhat moderately short, but what the player will be discovering is the past of Sal, supernatural aspects, a lot of adult-themed violence, and just overall weirdness. Majority of the narrative is told in a confession or a flashback manner into the past to get more of an understanding to Sal's current situation in the present. Each episode brings more clarity to the mysteries and questions that need to be answered, and that's all I'm going to say about the story. The rest you have to experience for yourself. This game looks uniquely disturbing as it is aesthetically beautiful. According to this interview, what Steve was doing in the Q&A session, he states that this game design was influenced by 90s cartoons like Hey Arnold, and I can definitely see it through the character designs. But when it comes to the frame-by-frame aspect of Sallyface, I wouldn't be surprised if the hand-drawn art style was inspired by Michael Craig Judge, the animator and creator of shows like Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill. If you take all these aspects and add in the atmospheric creepiness of Dave First Salad Fingers, along with the randomness of Adult Swim's Smiling Friends, all of this, within a nutshell, is what I get from Sallyface visual representation. When playing this game, expect to see a whole lot of disturbing things, but what I like about this game is how it abruptly happens. Sallyface really utilizes the saying sometimes less is more, and it all depends on her delivery. For an example, I remember this part where Sally asks a question to this character and the focus point of the camera transitioned to this one still image as it pans closer to his face. As the player, you get this hilarious but yet uneasy feeling, especially considering the plot of this particular portion of the story. The environments of Sallyface may come off as being plain in certain aspects, but it doesn't subtract from the enjoyment to be had within the overall experience. Also peppered throughout the game are parodies of pop culture images. Now, around the back end of this game is where a whole lot of more than welcome liberties were taken to coincide with the narrative, and let me tell you, it's a treat. Sallyface is originally a point-and-click adventure, but since I'm playing it on consoles, I would just consider it a side-scrolling interactive graphic novel of some sort. Essentially, all that the player is going to be doing is doing a whole lot of backtracking, talking to a few characters of that episode, picking up items, doing favors, solving puzzles, and digesting a whole lot of dialogue. When playing, very important items can be accessed while looking at this menu, and it even provides the player information on where to go and what you need to be doing. For me personally, while I was playing, it was much needed, or else I'll be running around in circles for hours. Now, every now and then, the game switches things up a bit, like this minigame segment to further add backstory to some very important characters, and another where things become somewhat of a rhythm game. Now, on the puzzle solving aspect, some stumped me for a minute, like when combinations were needed to unlock things. My advice is to pay attention to your surroundings. As the player, you will inevitably understand the answers that are given to you. So pretty much what I'm saying is trial and error. But overall, this game is fun, in a close quarter campy type way, if that makes sense. The music of Sallyface was done by Steve Gabry, which is split up into multiple soundtracks corresponding with each episode that is featured in. From listening, I can honestly say that the rock or alternative rock genre seems to take center stage and permeate majority of the compositions, while other songs from other genres are seemingly present just for atmospheric purposes. The main song that was burned into my memory was the slow-paced, guitar-warped, monotonous song known as Empty Hallways that would play in the background, along with the various songs that stemmed from Sallyface's fictional band known as Sanity's Fall. There was this other song that would play in the beginning and the end of certain episodes called Memories and Dreams. I remember recalling a certain revelation that was revealed near the beginning when this song played, and when it did, it left me with a feeling or a sense that the things to come would not be all rainbows and sunshines. Then on the final episode, there was a slower rendition known as Surrender to the Sunset, and damn, when you get to the part when this plays, you have to take a moment just to sit and think about what you just played. Needless to say, the music does its job and you can check out the OSTs for yourself. I'll provide the links in the description. One thing I can say about Sallyface is that it nicely utilizes certain sound effects to set the tone and atmosphere. Case in point. You have jump scares, and at one time I began to think that an actual hole in a piece of paper can be seen as disturbing. Now I know that description kind of sounds ridiculous, but this game kind of pulls it off. Conversations are done via dialogue boxes, so I guess you could say that voice actors are kind of out of the question. Well, maybe with the exception of this particular part. But other than that, the most unsettling parts, or rather the most nerve-wracking moments, are the times when the music is gone and all you hear are your character's movements. It gives a level of suspense and kind of raises your anxiety a little bit. But as far as the sound design goes, it was done quite well. But I suggest that you don't play this game with the volume turned all the way up at night, or else you may end up waking up the neighbors. With everything covered, I'm going to give Sallyface a 7.5 out of 10. It's somewhat of a refreshing experience. Its simplicity and unpredictability is kind of what makes this game fun. The story took a couple of unexpected turns, which by the end I wanted more, especially after chapter 5. Speaking of chapters, each one of them one-ups the previous one in regards to visuals or building up the story to a grand conclusion. If a sequel is indeed in the works, that only means that Sallyface has the capacity to creatively become a whole beast within itself, especially when it comes to implementing ideas, different types of artistic directions, and continuing a compelling and yet strange narrative. And in this title's case, the stranger the better. But anyway, Sallyface is now available for Steam for Mac and PC, GOG, itch.io, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 for like $15. But until next time, be safe out there, and peace y'all.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit up that notification bell, and I gotta go.